On it right now. All right, so chapter 7, we left off right around 246 or so. I already went through the rest of the chapter and looked at it all. Pretty much this chapter is about data mining. We talked about that a whole bunch last time, okay? And he really doesn't cover anything new in here other than just different techniques he uses to analyze data. Hence your program, which I just showed you, we're analyzing data, okay? He does use data dictionaries, which you have to use. Okay? They're also covered in chapter 4, which I even reference in the program requirements, which you'll see. Okay? So, and he talks, averaging and stuff like that, and I'm not going to cover how he does it, and I don't care. I'm not going to require you to do that. Because really, he's not giving anything new here. He's just implementing it. Okay. So what I want to do is go through the rest of this, make sure there's nothing else new here, which I've already looked at. There isn't. And then we're going to do a project in class today. Okay. So really, the rest of this chapter is just using stuff, like reading files. And if you look at, there's actually 3 chapters now that have talked about earthquake data. Hence, that's where I got the idea from, obviously. So that's what your program is based on, because it's something that there's lots of it. In another class, actually in the springtime, forensics was doing a project analyzing cell phone data. But, it's not as easy to get cell phone data as it is earthquake data. Okay? Let me go to the next page here. So I'm not skipping anything here. You're totally free to look over this stuff. And because we're actually using something very similar to this page, which is page 255, you're using something very similar to this in your program. Okay, his data is different. He's doing different stuff with it, but this is actually where I got the idea of doing this program. Okay, so you could not copy this out and use it. No,
but you could
get an idea of how to do stuff. Right. Yeah, because it's similar. The way he's using, he's creating a dictionary up here, a data dictionary, and he's splitting the data. He's going through each item in the data file, which you guys can do. You can read it in a file. He's going through each item. He's splitting it, which you guys obviously have to do. We've done that before. Then he's extracting latitude and longitude. Then he's actually creating a data dictionary from them. Okay, so it's, you're going to be doing something similar, just not exact. Don't just copy and paste this. It's not going to work. It won't work. Okay, but I just wanted to show you where that was, and you do not have to draw a graphic of it or anything like that. So even though we might later, because this file does actually contain GPS data, latitude and longitude, and you're actually going to have to extract that on your program. So, but we'll look more about that. And I think that's the end of this section. Okay. Yeah, that's the end of chapter 7. Okay. I want to, along with you guys, write a program that is in here. Okay. It's not the program y'all going to turn in. But I want to write a program as a class that does something with this data. Okay? Look familiar to anybody? It's y'all's names and a bunch of random numbers. Numbers don't mean a darn thing. So I literally did an Excel with the random function. So don't think the numbers mean anything. Although Fisher here has a 99 in something. And it looks like he's winning. Whatever this is, you are winning.
Cameron's got a 94.
Yeah, Cameron's doing good. He's got a 94. Yeah, so that's kind of funny. I didn't even notice that. So, Miss Carr up here, it's looking bad, a 14. It's not good. Okay. So what we wanted.
Who said that the higher numbers were better?
That's true. That's true. Good point. So I'm thinking here we got a good score going here.
Was that the ERA?
That's the winner chicken dinner right there. So all right. So I want to write a program to read in this data. Okay? Because obviously you're going to have to do that for your next program, and it's good experience. But I don't want to write it. I want you guys to write it.
So do we do it?
Oh, we're all going to do this right now on the screen. I'm going to write a program that's going to be called Roy Sucks. No. Sampleprogram.py. Okay, see, Roy said Roy wanted to go to Ron's, but I'm like, sorry, I got class. And Roy, how old are you now? 28, going on 35, with no driver's license?
Let's move class to Ron's.
All right.
That sounds so good right now.
All right.
Python? Is that what you do?
Yep, I just made a file called sampleprogram.py. That's all I did. It's blank. All right, in the past, in other classes, I've done something where we go around the room adding to the program. So that's what we're doing. Starting here with Leroy, the main objective, at least initially, is to read in that file called book1.txt. So what do? You have to tell me something. We're going to put it on here. We'll fix it if it's wrong. You have to tell me something.
Book one.
Oh, right, that's the file name, book1.txt. We want to read it in.
So define.
Well, okay, we can define something. Okay, what do you want to call it, our method?
Let's call it graphics. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. We can do that. All right, and you have to build on what the prior student gives you. So if you don't like it, sorry. Okay, Chris, add something to this. Remember, we're going to read in book1.txt and do something with it.
Okay. Data graphics.
We defined graphic. That's what we have. So what are we going to do? Okay.
So you have a statement now, right?
Yeah, we need to
Add more to it.
Data graphics.
data graphics. Okay, like that. Can I give you a hint here?
No. Yeah, no.
We need to open the file and read it.
Say file equals.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Open.
All right, so I screwed up.
Oh no, we can use yours. That's fine. It'll work. File. We'll say file to. Well, let's see. I'll just write it. File open. Okay. Equals what?
File equals file name dot R for reading, right?
Dot R.
Parentheses. You got
Oh yeah, parentheses.
Chelsea. Wait, parentheses here.
No wait.
All right. Would you like to pass to Chelsea before she has a heart attack? Not Chelsea.
Can we just make a pass?
It's very good for you.
And
I mean,
then can I delete things and pass?
Oh my God.
No, not delete everything.
Turn off the computer.
okay. All right. What okay. I need to. Okay. What do I do?
Delete file name. You can keep the FO equals.
Okay.
And then open parentheses capital B in book1.txt, comma, and parentheses R. Is it parentheses?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
All right. Now, we want to test this, see if we're actually making some progress. As I've said all along, I don't believe in writing an entire program then hitting compile. So, can someone, this is out to anybody, how can I test this?
We gotta call graphics.
I got to call graphics. How do I do that?
Graphics parentheses.
Like that, maybe? So you think we might need some parentheses up here, too?
Oh, that's.
All right, let's see what this does.
Let's wait for this.
All right.
Good job, team.
So what did we just do?
We opened the file.
We opened a file. So right now, somewhere we have this file hanging open. It's like Cameron with his mouth open.
So now you're gonna build. So now you gotta build the bot.
All right, we need to do something with it. You're up. He's like, damn it.
I just usually close it, but you've got to make it to where you can edit it. So you'd have to set a variable equal to FO, right?
We could, but we're not really going to pass it to the method because it's already being defined inside the method. Now we just need to read it. FO is the open file, so now I need to read the file. Okay? So I'll tell you, let's just do this random people, but you cannot answer every question. Did you get that? All right, so what's the next step? Anybody? Anyone want to contribute? It's going to be very boring if we just stand here. Okay, for loop. Very nice, very nice. For. For what? For he is a jolly. Oh, sorry. For what?
Hi, Ron's.
For Ron. For Ron's boy is hungry. For what? Line. In. Foe. Be. By. Oh no, sorry.
Not that.
Okay. Anybody else? So what? Okay, so we got our file open, and we are doing something with each line. What are we gonna? How do we know if it's even working? How can I print? I want to see if it's doing something, because I'm gonna print line. Think that'll do something for us?
Yes.
All right, let's run this baby. Hey! Wow, we're making progress.
That's beautiful.
All right. So, honest to God truth, this is exactly how I write programs, because you need to see that it's doing something. Now, that's not doing what we want, but at least we know it opened the file and it's reading it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Like what is the end goal of this thing?
To end up at Ron's, obviously.
Obviously.
All right, I want to be able to enter a name that's in the list, enter a name, and see the different values. Let me run this again.
You need to split each.
All right, so Mr. Rothman has 3 values. I want to be able to type in Rothman, and it should tell me 0. Blah blah and 0.6, and so on and so forth. Split.
So you split it the comma instead of the.
Oh, you know what? Let's look. I didn't even look at that. What type of file is this? What's it delimited by? Commas. So do we split by commas?
Yes.
Let's take a vote. Everybody?
Aye.
Everybody agree? Okay. Did you all see the news article about the absentee ballots in some state where the head of the Republican committee just happened to be standing there putting his ballot in or something? And they heard a thump. Then he turned around, and there was a guy with an entire box full of absentee ballots just shoving them in the ballot thing. He said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "None of your damn business." And he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "None of your damn business." Yeah, it was online. It was an entire box. You only supposed to have one absentee ballot.
Yeah.
Entire box. He was shoving them all in. Wow, this election's going to be good, isn't it? Okay.
Florida's always got some weird elections.
All right, yes. All right, so let's continue on. So we know it at least did something. Well, there's something we kind of need to do. We open the file. What else we need to do with it? We need to close it. I know we don't need to close it yet, but the biggest issue with people is they forget to close the darn file. So I get out of here somewhere, fo.close, okay? Thank you. At least now the file is closed.
Now I don't have to say anything else, right?
There you go, for this moment. All right, so let's work on this whole split thing. Somebody? How are we going to... Split. Okay, I got split. Let me run it. No, it ain't going to run.
Line.split.
Why line.split?
Because for each
Because it's for each line.
Oh, for line. Okay, I'm just wondering where you got line from. I'm just trying to make sure we know where line's coming from. Because I guarantee somebody in here is like, where'd you get line from? So I'm asking the questions y'all should be asking.
And then in parentheses you would put
A comma? Well, I don't want to put a comma.
You gotta put, oh.
but you have to put a comma.
Why? It ran fine.
Yeah.
But that didn't,
Let's print our,
it won't print.
You want to print
turn
it?
it to a variable and then print it.
Okay, let's
Yeah, just print it. Just
Print line dot split.
let's save to a variable. My var equals. So what is my var?
Let's find out.
we'll find it.
Six. Whoa. Whoa. We want that in the loop? I don't think so.
No, you don't.
It's not in the loop.
We want it.
Yeah. Because the loop is going through the entire file and building a what? It's building a list. Very good. Now we're putting the list.
Great job, guys. Oh, look. That's weird.
We got something.
Oh darn! It didn't split it right.
That's.
Oh, we need commas.
Why don't we use periods?
Let's try periods, yeah.
I like
Great
periods.
idea.
that would definitely work.
Okay, so we need to split on commas. Fine, we'll split on commas.
It's not a period at all. It's close.
Hey, now we actually have some values. So we have Walker.
How'd you get the bump?
Okay, how? That's a good question. Why is it displaying Walker?
And you get your line split there at the end.
It's the last
Yeah,
one
you
that
show
it
the
is.
last one.
It's the last one.
So if you put print inside the inside
Okay, let's put it inside.
It'll print all.
Then you gotta get rid of that line split, right, at the end.
No, we need line split because that's what's making it. Oh, there we go. Now we got all of them.
When you put it in the loop, it prints everything. Whoa.
I didn't want it in the loop.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
I didn't want it in the loop. Hence, I didn't put it in the loop.
It's almost like if he listens to us, it happens.
Believe it or not, some things I do wrong on purpose so you can see what happens. Hence the no comma. I want to split on period. Let's see what it does.
It's the best.
It's gonna be great.
This data is so
Whoa.
much better.
That is amazing.
It even has new
I like this.
That is so great.
Your scores you are really doing good now. You got no longer have an A, you have
0.
I don't know what the hell over here.
My favorite part is how everybody's name suddenly became a 2 point.
All right. So obviously we need to split on the comma. But what if our data was not comma delimited? Could we change that? Yes, you could, because your data is not comma delimited. Hence the reason I put comma, so yours would have to be modified somewhat. Okay, so we have the data in there. So how can I print out just the names? I don't want to see this other junk. Okay, print my var bracket to 0.
You need the, what do you call it?
Period?
No, not periods, those double.
Not following you. I don't.
I'm not following.
All right, let's see what it does.
I know you can't turn it up.
Oh, look at that.
Camera.
Whoa, Cameron's so smart.
Good job, Kip. Now I want to print out the next column. I want to print out the second column. Actually, I want the first column.
That's it.
Then I want a space, a dash, a space, and then the second column.
Quotes.
Oh, quotes.
Quote, space, quote. Quote. No?
Dash.
Oh, yeah, the dash.
Oh, and then dash.
Oh.
again.
Ah. And then, whatever you paragraphs you want.
I want the next column.
My
My
variant
bear.
dash one.
Bracket. Whatever, one, yeah.
Amazing, I kind of knew what I wanted, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so now we're actually getting the name.
Now everybody's I love it.
Okay, now I want to see the next column.
Same thing.
Okay,
Plus.
so I'm going to copy all this and put a 2. Sound good?
Sounds excellent.
And then copy for your third column.
Whoa.
Wow.
Did not expect that.
I didn't either.
You think we could do it again for the last column?
I think
thinking
we
so.
could.
But you know what I want to do here? I want to hit that.
We've already got
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Whoa, what'd that do?
Broke it.
I don't know.
I try and find out.
Oh.
I think
It works.
since I had the plus at the end of the previous line, it basically says extend the string onto the next line. That way, because I didn't want it to go off the screen. So now I could go in here and put in this guy,
And change it to 3.
3. All right. I actually hit the wrong button, but yeah. Is that working correctly? Cameron still got his 94. He's happy with that. That's good. Leroy, sorry, dude. You got a 1. All right. Now I want the next column. So what do? Do I do this?
There's not
But wait, hold
There's no
on.
next column.
What?
How do you know? Are you sure?
Hold on, what?
Whoa.
Failure.
Whoa!
That's what happened.
That
I wonder
sucks.
what happened.
That's weird. Who would have thunk that, huh? Why did it crash?
There's only 3. There's 4.
There's only 3 or 4 or
There's
5.
only
We
4.
don't know.
I'm thinking there's only 0 through 3.
All right. So basically what we told it was to print out 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Those are the columns. But I just told it to print 4. So I get an error called list index out of range. It says, dude, there's no such. You will get this. Trust me. I got it last night. Because I was, the data file. Let me open up this data file again so you get an idea what you're looking at. I'm just going to open the partial one. It's a little bit smaller. Okay. There's actually a lot of values in it.
I hate the data file.
Okay. There's lots of stuff in here. Okay.
Very strong.
It doesn't open up the same on my computer as it does on this.
Because I'm using TextPad.
Yeah, I know.
TextPad. See, that's actually a very good
So
point.
it's really it's even harder to read on my computer
I know.
than it is on that.
Because you're using TextEdit. It sucks for
I
it.
have it put in text wrangler. And
Okay.
it does the same
Yeah, about the same thing. What happens is TextPad can read a file format differently than Windows can and even a Mac can. Okay, it's basically reading a Unix file format, and this is showing the tabs and all that correctly. But let me open this in Notepad. Watch what it does. Open with Notepad. Oh yeah.
All right.
And if I turn off Word Wrap, that's what you get. No, that's turning on Word Wrap, isn't it? No, it's off now. Okay. So, as you can see, it's very hard to read. Okay. The way it works is that's the first value, origin times the second, latitude third, longitude, so on and so forth. It keeps going. Okay. What you can do, if you're not sure which one's which, because last night, like I said, at midnight I was writing this thing. I didn't know which was which either, so what I did was, let me get rid of this. I just kept outputting more columns so I could see what was being output. I'm like, oh, I needed 8 and 9, so I think I needed like 2, 8, and 9 or something like that, whatever it came out to be. Because I was looking at it, I said, okay, I got the longitude, I got the latitude, now I wanted to get the magnitude, that's what I wanted. So just output them. And if you go too far like we just did, you know what the error is. So script out of range means, hey, you're referencing a value that doesn't exist. Okay? All right. So let's make sure this still works. It's always a good idea to make sure it still works. It's funny because I use a file synchronization program at home. Whenever I edit a file at home, it also edits it at work. And if I do the same at work, do the same thing at home. But since I made a lot of progress on it last night, I didn't want to lose it. So I actually mailed it to myself as well. That way, because I could just imagine something gets lost and I'm like, man, I just stayed up half the night writing a program and lost it. So I don't like to do that. Okay, so now we have it in there. I need to pause this recording for a second.
There.
Okay.
You should have never said anything.
All right. So, we obviously read it incorrectly. I am recording. Okay. We were able to break it apart into a list, but I need to be able to access the elements.
Highly disappointed.
Did I print the wrong one? Ah, darn it. Okay. I want to be able to access it. Like the first column, what do you think the first column might be called? Name. That sounds good to me. Since it was your name. So I'm going to call it name equals myvar 0. Okay? So what is that doing? So it's taking the name, so it was car and all the rest of y'all's names one at a time and saving it into the variable name. We're not doing anything with it yet, we're just doing that. And again, I want to make sure I didn't screw it up, so I'm actually going to compile it. It really shouldn't do anything different, but it should be working. Okay. Does anyone know why I'm getting this white space here? See how there's a blank line between each one?
Is in the text file, isn't there like a line break or something?
Actually, there is. Yeah, there's a line break here, and if you view it with the notepad, you can see it. Let's open with... No, you can't see it with notepad. Darn it. What can I see it with?
It would be in Word.
Word I can see it? Actually, let me try Notepad++. Is it Word? Okay, let's do it in Word. Well, WordPad? Damn it. Darn the bad luck. Alright, let's go to... I'm trying to open this so you can see. There is an actual line break at the end of each one. It's a... I don't know if you can be able to see it in Word either.
When we did it, when we like read in all the files and everything, you could see it because it was a backslash.
Yeah, it's a backslash n is what it is. So I'm going to open up in Word real quick. Maybe.
That's what I asked for. That's why the backslash U was in there.
File open. I'm going to open from my computer, from my desktop, script programming, programs, 7. I'm going to tell it to show me all files. That's not showing it there.
You could turn it on.
Oh, this dude?
Yeah.
There it is. You can see there's actually a paragraph marker at the end. There is a line return, a /n at the end of each one. So that's why it's printing the blank lines. But that's not going to cause an issue for us right now.
That's what we needed in ours.
Actually, I don't think yours has a carriage return at the end. Yeah, because I didn't have to mess with the carriage. Well, we're not using the whole file anyway. We're only using certain fields. Okay, so let's continue on with this. All right, so we got the name in. So what could the second column be? The 0.5. Let's call it num1. Okay, num1 equals my var. Actually, okay, we're going to run it again. I know, we'll just see what happens when I mistype it. Okay, to save. Whoa, crashed again. Okay, it says my var is not defined. Now if you read this, it actually tells me it's happening on line 6. Okay, so if I go over here and I make this so I can see it all on the screen, if I put my mouse on this line, if you look down in the bottom corner, let's move this over as well. Right, it'll say line and column. See down here in the corner, it says line 6, column 16. So you know that I screwed up on line 6. Okay, now we're going to run it again. I know I run excessively, but I just like to make sure the darn thing works. Okay, so then we need the next one. What do you want to call the next one? Okay, I lost my mouse. There it is. It's back. All right, num2. And do we need a num3? No. We want to be uniform here. All right. There you go. It's still running. Now, I could actually go in here and replace all this with name, couldn't I? Num1, so on and so forth. So on and so forth like that. Okay? So this still works. Okay? So we know our variables are now saved correctly. Alright. We need to create a data dictionary. And on your program, which we'll talk more about the requirements, but I specifically say create a data dictionary, see chapter 4, page 135 for an example of one. Or chapter 7, that stuff I showed you today. Okay? So if we go to chapter 4, page 135, That's the first place we actually use the data dictionary. I think. 135. There's mode. Then it goes into Python dictionaries. Okay. And start talking about creating basic dictionaries. Okay. I recommend you read this section over because it will make it mean you understand it more. Okay. So read over starting at page 135. It's only a few pages, like 50. No, just kidding. But it tells you the different items, keys and values. For instance, in our example, our keys could be the last name. The values could be the numbers that go with them. Everybody understand that? All right. You can also see items, and you can use get and a bunch of other stuff with it. So I recommend looking at that. See, like in their example here, keys was the names. Hannah, Kelsey, Riley, so on and so forth. And the values could be the ages, like 16 and 9 and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what we want. Because I want to be able to type in car and get those numbers. Okay? So that's why I put starting on page 135. Now, if you want to get something that's a little bit closer to this program, if you go to right here, right this one, which is on page 255, it's actually a little bit closer. It's not exactly what you need, but it is closer. That's why I'm bringing it up. Okay. If you copy this direct out of the book, it ain't going to work. Trust me, it will not work. So don't just copy out of the book and say, man, it ain't working. I told you that it won't work. So we know this print statement works. I'm going to comment it out for now. I'm real big on commenting stuff out rather than deleting until I'm totally sure. Actually, right before, a little bit earlier today, I still had all the comments in mind, all the code that I went and deleted it all just before I came up here. All right, so one thing we're missing so far is the declaration of the data dictionary. See it there at the top? Data dict equals squiggly brackets. See it right up here? Okay, so we need that. So I'm going to go in here. Oops, not put a slash. Okay, we're going to go data dict equals dict. All right. Then it runs. Did it work? It's hard to tell because I commented out the print line. But at least it compiles, so I'm assuming it does something. All right. You'll see in their code here, they're doing for each item in the data dictionary. Okay? You don't need to do that. That's what I said. If you copy it directly out of here, say, well, you do, but you don't. Okay? Their data file is actually what we're calling line. I'm sorry, FO. See where we have FO equals the open? That's actually data file. So the names are different. That's what I'm saying. If you copy it directly out of here, you can have an issue with it. So FO is actually what they're calling data file. And our line is their A line. See that? See the difference? Okay. So if I want to go down here and actually create this data dictionary that they're doing on line 11, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say data dict with a T. Now they have key. We're going to go back to that here in just a second. Okay? Equals. Now, there they have lawn and lat. Okay? Now, let's look at their code for a second. So we can't run their code since it's not complete. What is key in their code? No, in their code, not our code, their code. It's 0. It starts with 0. See it right up here at the top? Key starts at 0. Then key gets incremented. So what value is actually being stored right here? 0. Or actually 1. Starts at 1. Remember, it's initialized to 0. But then the first time through the loop, key is equal to key plus 1. So 0 is equal to 0 plus 1. So it's actually storing 1, 2, 3. I don't like that. I don't want to reference her as 1. I want her to be car. So I want to be able to search by her name. Okay, exactly. Change key to name. That's exactly what I was looking for. So if I change key to name, Now instead of storing 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be storing the names, whatever all your names are. Okay? Now, what else? Now, in their example here, they have lawn and lat. See that right there? What they're saying is they have a data dictionary that's keyed on a number, and the values to go with it are the longitude and latitude. So yours is going to be similar to that, but you also need magnitude and stuff like that. So for ours, we need to change it. What would we want to put in ours?
Number 1, number 2.
Exactly. Num1, num2, num3. Okay, so if I did num1, comma num2, comma num3, comma num4, just going to make sure. I like putting errors in here just so you guys can see what the errors do. Because out of all the classes I've ever teach, people have the hardest time, what's that error mean? So that's why I kind of put some in sometimes so you can see it. So if I go to run this, it's going to be like, whoa, what the heck is num4? It's not defined. Oh, we didn't need a num4. We don't have a num4. So that's, okay, very good though. Y'all caught that even before I ran it. So. All right, so if I run it now, it did something. What did it do? Is there any way to output a dictionary? Okay, let's try print. Print what? Okay. Let's just try data dict. Whoa! It actually did something. Okay, let's go to the top here. Okay, it did it multiple times, by the way. Okay, here we have car, so that's what it's keyed on. And the values that go with car are these 3 values there. And oh, look, there's a /n at the end. Okay? It's repeating itself. How the heck do I get it to stop repeating itself? Somebody. What?
Because it's inside the loop, so it doesn't.
It's inside the loop.
What's inside the print?
Let's see if that fixes it. I don't know. We lost some of the names.
No, it's car is down at the bottom.
Why isn't it first, though?
I don't know.
It's weird. Sort!
Sort by.
Sort. Your program has to sort.
No.
That's weird.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, at this point, do you agree that we opened a file, created a data dictionary, split into a list based on commas, and then added those elements or entries to a data dictionary? Are we at that point? Okay. No. Now what I'd like to do, I want to search for someone's name. Someone help me. How am I going to, we know the data dict has all of it in there. I want to search for Carr or Tillman or the rest of you, which I don't know your names. Come on. I know we got a Phillips, don't we?
Yes.
All right. Got 3 names down. Input? Input. Oh, input. Okay. Where? Outside the loop. Okay. So I'm just going to comment out this print. So I end up with a lot of stuff commented out, but it's critical when you turn in your programs to remove all that junk. Now, comments are okay, but extra code like this, when you're done, remove it. I like to leave it in there because we know it actually did something. So outside the loop, so basically here, I need to get input. Input for what?
For the student name.
Okay, so let's write that line. Go.
Define variable.
A equals input, parentheses, quote, quote, something.
That'll work.
Will that work? All right, let's run this thing. All right, enter the darn name. It did not air out. It's obviously true. Yep, got proof right there. Y'all see that? We recorded it. What? Oh, darn it. All right. So what we did, she's got a what did we just do?
You just told it to input and didn't do anything.
Exactly. We're like, give me a name.
Okay.
And so everything.
Now I'm going to Ron's. Doing nothing with it. Okay, so what? Come on, how am I going to use this? I will give you a hint. Actually, I'm going to edit your file real quick. It's Chelsea, isn't it? Chelsea, you have been lucky enough to be in my database multiple times now.
Oh, yay.
Because in your program, you need to be in there multiple times. Because you saw how Payne County had multiple entries. Okay. So how could I write something that's going to search through that data dictionary and output if A equals car? What? All in all the same way.
If only there was some way.
Oh, if only there was some way.
Listen with your ears, kid. Come on.
All right, how can we output the name? From the data dictionary, not from the name variable. How can we output the name from the data dictionary? Anybody? Has something to do with this line. What are some of the stuff I just said was, remember in chapter 4 I said there's all those things that pertain to a list? What's that first thing? How about if we did something like keys? Let's just see if that does anything. Okay. So what I did is I output the keys. And those are the names. Y'all agree? So the keys are what we can search by. Now it's output values. What? Oh, we will.
Because it's really irritating.
Okay. Now I can output values. So I can output both. So how can we output something? Okay, I want to output just the name. How am I going to do that? Dot.
Isn't it dot get?
Yeah. Okay. Let me. How can I say this to you? You know how Chelsea's in there 3 or 4 times now? If we just output her name, it's going to go to the first entry and output it. That's not what I want. So, can you think of any way I might be able to find all the instances of Chelsea? Okay. Let's look here. Okay, let's go back to this for a second. Let's go look at the values. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. I meant keys. All right. So there's the names. So Chelsea's name should be in there.
It is, but it's that way.
Oh, it's off to the side? No, it isn't. Did I not save the file?
I guess not.
That's weird. I did save it.
Maybe it only picks it up once though, because
Yeah, it should. Okay, well, even if it only did it once. So how could I loop through all the names? How could I loop through all the names that are in this file? How do you loop through anything? For loop. Okay. What do you think? Will that go through it?
It looks like it would.
Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of this and put key. Just so we can see if we're actually printing something. Okay? Again, I'm real big on making it do something. So we did. We actually went through. For some reason, you're only in there once. I don't understand that. But that's okay.
But
All
you're
right.
not in alphabetical order.
Okay. What now?
Not in alphabetical order like you had.
Right. Well, right. They're not in alphabetical order yet. But, so we went through each one of those. So how could I check that name and only print it out if it's equal to car?
Print, data dict, bracket, A, bracket. So it would print the key, and it would print the data that corresponds to
Like that?
that entry. Yeah.
Hmm.
Give it a name. Type it real quick.
All right. What did key contain? Remember when I put it in with key? Were those the names? So if key contains the name, how can I compare key to something? Maybe something like if key equals A.
You know, that's not equals though, is it?
It's it has to complete.
It has to, it's a relational operator. Got it. Okay, hold on. Let's try it. Let's try with a name that's not in there. I still don't know why we printed one. Obviously, it's working. Y'all agree with that? It's not doing it 3 times, but so we figured out a way to search for a value. Okay. Now, why is it only printing 1? Let me close this. Close you. That is book. We are in the right direct. We're in script program, chapter 7. Let's run this again. That's crazy. Do I have it open again or something? Let's go to programs, chapter 7, book 1. Let's edit it. I swear it's in there multiple times. What's going on? I don't get it.
When you put it in the data dictionary, does that do any sort of, this is the same, so.
Shouldn't. I even just closed it out. Oh, wait a second. Okay. We entered car. It's printing it. But it's not complete. Okay. Hold on a minute here. Let's just continue on for a moment. Okay. How can I print out the values that pertain to car?
Verbal, no one is.
Yeah, but I don't want to reference those variable names. I want to reference the data dictionary. How can I print out the values in the data dictionary?
Print, data dict, bracket, A.
See what that does. Not quite. Not quite there yet. Where's my mouse? Why does my mouse keep disappearing? There it is. All right. What about?
Go. Let's see.
Okay.
Here's something.
It printed something. What it did is it printed out
Oh, the first letter.
the first letter of key. Okay. So we need to somehow. I can't just give it to you.
Try it. Go.
What do you want? What do you want?
Data dict, A. Bracket, A. A. Bracket. Just let it dry.
Run it.
Oh! Oh! The values. Look at that. Wow.
Wow, it actually worked.
No way.
But I only want this one.
You only want that one.
I don't want all of them.
Well, you sure the main
I know.
Step in the right direction.
Because remember, I don't want all three. I only want the second one, which is actually num 2. So we know data dict A is returning her data. Okay. But how can I get the second? Okay, let's see again what it actually did.
It did.
What did I do wrong?
You hit enter.
I hit enter. Oh, Phew, I was freaking out. I'm like, I didn't change anything. So how can I get that 2? Anybody?
I think there was some way to get a subset of that data.
We need a subset of the data. Okay?
Index value in the data set. So like put it where the dictionary is.
Put a what?
Just put the index of the value on it. Well, not just the.
Yeah, I see here.
Holy moly, it actually worked!
Just like the radio.
Just like he meant me to do it.
Stick to your guns. That was wonderful. I didn't think so either.
Alright, let me explain why that worked.
Wow.
Okay. Obviously, data dict A was car. Because remember, we typed in car. So what it did is it went through the data dictionary and found a match for car. Then, now let me remove this. Let's look at that one more time. It actually returned us a list of 3 elements. And since it's a list, we know we can access it via the index of 0, 1, and 2. Since I wanted the second one, I just said give me index 1.
Okay, so could you do index, could you do 0 and 3, and it will pull up 0 and 3?
Like that.
And then 3.
There's no 3.
I mean, the third one.
Yeah. Yes, I could do that. Let me put a plus in here. Actually, let's just try. It's just going to put them together. Okay, I do need a plus in there. Yeah, it just puts them together.
So you'd have to just put space.
Right, I would have to put this in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you not?
All right, let me go back into this file here.
Just kind of curious.
Okay. Just making sure they're different. Okay. So which one is it printing?
The third one.
The third one. It skipped the first and second.
And there's one that's for 0 too.
Was there a 0? I thought I
Yeah,
erased
there
the
was-
0.
There was 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. I think. Yeah.
There's
One
1,
right.
2. Oh, there was a 0, yes. So it really got the last one is what it did.
Could it just be overriding based on the key?
I think that's actually what it's doing. All right, so we need to fix that.
So why can't you put them all together in data dict and then put A plus commas and 0 brackets plus bracket 2.
The reason is we're going through this one record at a time. Let me give you a hint of where we need to end up with this. Since her name's in there 4 times, I think we're actually overwriting them each time. But we don't want to overwrite them. We want to store all of them. So what data structure could we use that we could keep track of all 4 of her entries? What data structure is this?
Oh, the very
Yeah, but it's a variable that we did this upon, which gave us this, and which was this is the list. So why don't we create a list of her entries? You understand? All right. So before this, I'm going to create a new list. Okay. Now, for each item that we find, okay, make sure I'm doing this right here. All right. What I want to do, I'm kind of giving away more than I should here. Yeah, I'm giving away a lot more than I should. Let's go with okay, new list. What the heck was that? That was bizarre. No, yeah, hold on. New list. Make sure I'm doing it right here. So I happen to have the answer. That's why I'm making sure I do it the right way. Okay, new list dot append. Okay, and what I want to append to it is the key. Make sure I did that right.
Not kid.
Darn it. The key. Okay. Let's just try this. See what the heck we get, okay?
Oh, it's not going to get anything.
Oh. You didn't like that 0 in there? There we go. Okay. So we got a C. See, the problem is we're slightly different than when I got it. What we did is we appended the key. What if, instead of that, if I actually append that? Let's try that. So it did. We actually have an entry of car now. I still don't know why I only got one, though. We got to figure that out. Why do we only have one? Enter the darn name, creating a list. For key in datadict.keys, I want to go up here, right here, print. I want to print out this data dictionary real quick, see what's in it. Is your name in there more than once?
Yep.
I see it once.
Let's see, once at the bottom. There's the 3. It's right here.
No, it's just the 3. There's not.
No, there's
one.
No, that's the other print statement. So it's really only in there once. Why? So somehow this is not working right. It's overwriting. Why?
Should have made name a subkey.
Should have made name a what?
Subkey.
Actually, that's
It's a
the
database.
correct way of doing it. No, because name is correct. Make sure I not did type something wrong. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second while I figure this out. We only got 5 minutes. All right, we figured out what the problem is. It's the fact that the name is the same. It's overriding. The data dictionary has to have separate names. And your
Same data, anyway, no matter what, it's still the same data.
right, and yours actually, yours, you don't have that issue because they all have different ID numbers. It's just that.
It goes by the ID.
Right, it goes by the ID numbers. But let me talk about this program real quick. I mean, you can leave if you want. I'm going to record it anyway. But I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do in this program. First of all, name it Chapter 7. Write something that reads in the data. Okay, and manipulates it as I show below. Okay, here's the big part. The process file, just like you did in the last program, receives 2 items. It receives the file that's been opened and what you're searching for. Okay, 2 items. Then create a data dictionary, and see this part right here. This is keyed on the ID field, which is the first element. Those are all different. That's the problem we're having. When the names were the same, it was overriding it because the names were the same.
It wouldn't have hurt to bring in the database theory. Just
Right, yeah. So, yeah, it was basically, it was saying, oh, this is car. It kept overriding car. That's what the problem was. What you need to do Well, first of all, you're not going to have the problem because it's keyed on ID, which is not going to be a duplicate value. Okay? And you're not searching based on ID. You're searching on county. Okay? So what you need to do is create a data dictionary that'll be keyed on ID, field from the text file. It will contain 4 items: county, magnitude, longitude, and latitude. So ID is the one that's not duplicated. County is going to be duplicated because obviously we're going to have a bunch of Payne counties, a bunch of Logan counties, okay? Skip the first line in the file. It's not hard. Go to Google, type skip first line in file. It tells you how to do it. It's very easy, okay? Then, I want you to search through this dictionary, okay, for matching entries, then add them to a list. The reason is, we type in Payne County, there's going to be multiple entries. So just like we were searching it in ours, will work perfectly. But rather than display on a screen, just add it to a list, and it will work. It was just because our ID was duplicated. So add them to a list. Now I'm getting very lazy, so make sure that if I enter Payne in uppercase or lowercase or mixed case, they all work. Okay? In the data file, they're all uppercase. So use upper or lower or whatever. Okay? Then prompt for it to be sorted. Now we've used sort before. Okay? It's very easy to make a sort descending. Ask Google. It's one little teeny entry. Okay? So sorting either ascending or descending is very easy. Instead of, it's where list.sort, parentheses, just put something right in the middle there. Okay? And it says output the number of results for the top 5 and bottom 5 as shown in the sample. It says notice how the county is output in camel case, in other words, first character uppercase, everything else lowercase. Mimic the output exactly. Now there's extra credit. If you want to read it directly from the internet, which I'm not providing you how to do, you get 50% extra credit. Don't share with anybody. If you do it on your own. You need to use the URL lib module. URL lib. URL lib 2 has been updated. You'll just have to download it. Okay? Just like we downloaded that image one. Which didn't work right. But okay. Here's some sample output. You notice I put in Payne with all lowercase right here. And I put in ascending in lowercase. And it output Payne right there in camel case. Yet it's searched based on uppercase. That's very basic stuff. I want to see the top 5 results and the bottom 5 results. If there are none, tell me there's none. Okay? Here's another example. Here's the sample when Payne was put in differently. And I use D for descending. Now instead of small to big, it goes big to small. Okay? Alright, and then here it is with Dewey County. As we all know, Dewey County would be awesome. And there's no earthquakes there. Yeah, see that? Okay, everybody see what the output needs to look like. It needs to match mine. If you do the extra credit, you'll actually be using live data that's updated live, okay? So you'll have more data than me. This data file is about a week old. So I realize if you do the extra credit, you're going to have different data. What?
Would we need to send the one without the extra credit and then one with the
No, if you do the extra credit, just submit the extra credit.
Okay.
I'm good. I can see what you did. And I put a comment that says, obviously the main part of the script, actually quite a bit of the script will end up changing. But if you do the extra credit, that's fine. I realize you're not going to match mine. The output will be exact, but in other words, format, but the numbers. Like Payne County might have 500 by now. Okay?
Dewey County definitely has.
Dewey County is still 0 because there's no earthquakes there. I don't even know where it is.
I
Okay.
think it's west of Guthrie.
But this is the correct URL because if you were to click on it, it actually should load and you would be able to see a PDF or whatever the hell. Oh, it wants to save it, so yeah. But it'll open with the URL lib. Okay? So, work on that. I'm not going to make it due this weekend. So, I will give you at least till Wednesday. Does that sound good? Maybe the following weekend.
I like these, but
Okay. But that means you got to work on it. If no one works on it, if I don't hear nothing from nobody, it's going to be due earlier. Yeah. Okay. At least now we know what the problem was. It's that darn index. Didn't even think about that. It was the same name.
What if we don't need help? You wouldn't use your most.
Then you submit it. I realize some of you won't need help, and it was actually, it's not that long of a program. This is the whole thing. So it's not very long.
Okay, if you use the extra credit, it'll be longer though.
Yes, definitely. My extra credit's about halfway done. Because they actually, it's a slight change to the format of the file, so you have to change like I'm using 0 for the ID, 2 for latitude, 3 for longitude, and 9 for county, and 11 for magnitude. It's a little different on the one if you pull it live off the internet. So, all right, you guys are free to go.